Okay, in this video I'm going to roughly mark out how to actually, map out how to draw a figure, just a really basic figure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knowledge of figurative proportions just to actually block out the body in basic shapes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just roughly draw out the head shape. I'm then going to draw out the neck, and then I'm going to have the shoulders almost to the waist, and then this would be to the bottom of the bottom. So you're going to have roughly about that. I'm then going to mark out what the leg might look like underneath the trouser, and in the shoe I can see that the angle's about that, so I'm just going to roughly write about that. Do the same thing here, noticing the actual space between the legs to make sure that there is going to be space for that. I'll go back over with the clothes later. I can see that this heel is a little bit higher than this one, and the angle of that is roughly about that, so I'm going to mark in that. I then can see that the hands come down maybe to about here, therefore the elbow is probably going to be roughly about halfway. The same thing here and here. So I'm going to just quickly do these rough shapes, and maybe the hand might come down a little bit lower. Just going to put that in like here. Now that I've got this, I can start drawing the clothes over the structure that I've just drawn. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with the head, constantly referring back to the angles that I'm seeing, so the angle of this versus this and this, almost seeing it like a mathematical equation. Okay, I'm going to draw the jacket in now. You can see that this is almost like a triangle. See this, you can see that this comes down almost quite a lot down where I've drawn the jacket. So I'm going to say, I'm going to try and draw the chin around here. Again, I can always come back if I feel like that might be a mistake, that might be quite low. Okay, something like that. And then I'm going to put the shirt. I can see that the shirt actually comes out under, like maybe down here around the face. So I'm just going to mark that in. And copy just one bit at a time. I can see here that my shoulders might actually come down a little bit wider, or a little bit wider than what I previously drawn. That's not a big deal. All I can do is I'm just using it as reference. It's not a rule. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the jacket arm. You can see this is actually quite straight. I'm going to cut that off here. Maybe do a little wobble because I can see that there's lots of creases where the fabric's folding. I can see that the bottom of the jacket comes up a little bit higher than the sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that again. I'm going to say that this part, I can see that this comes underneath that area. So I'm almost going to fold that around. I'm going to copy this section. The same thing here, the jacket comes a little bit behind this front part of the jacket, so the sleeve I mean. Just going to follow that back up to the line I've previously made. I might just put a little suggestion of where that zip is, and he's got a little logo here. What I'm now going to do is I can see that maybe this comes to the bottom of this section. There's not that much space here, so I'm going to now just copy the angle of one of these legs. So when I'm drawing that trouser in, you can see this almost is quite angular and this is quite straight. So I'm just trying to copy the shape of the trouser. I can draw in the hand later. Now I'm going to be noticing the space in between the two legs to make sure that I'm being quite accurate. So I know that the bottom of this leg sleeve comes down lower than this one in the image. So I'm just going to actually just copy this section. Shoes are always quite difficult for me, I think, just the shape that they create, but you've got to keep practicing. So I'm going to put the sole here. And then again, I'm just always trying to actually look at the angle which each shape is. Sometimes if you struggle with that, you could maybe line your pencil up and then line your pencil up with here, just trying to not move it. I always find that quite handy. Then you can start doing things like the hands. You can see that the fingers fold round. So I'm just roughly marking those in. The thumb kind of comes a little bit over the trouser. I'm just going to mark those fingers in. And then what you can do is you can go back over with the face and things like that. But that is how I would generally just structure the figure underneath the clothes and build up that drawing like that.